In order to become an entrepreneur,
Uh-huh.
it's important for you to first become an. So I diversified my portfolio by entering into multiple businesses because I knew that.
Where did you get your experience from? Then you said entrepreneurship is important, right?
Okay. So see, prior to starting my own thing,
You've gone into a lot of different businesses. Do you feel like that has impacted your surrounding, the environment around you, the people around you?
I wouldn't use the terminology of.
What is your next step? Like, what are you planning to get into next, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, see, I have entered into.
Hey guys, welcome to Entrepreneur's Edge, the podcast in which we dive into lessons, strategies, and the journey of some of the most inspiring minds in the world. I'm your host Chetan Tiwari, and today we have a very incredible guest who embodies the entrepreneurial mind, entrepreneurial spirit. Our guest, Mr. Akbar, is a powerhouse in the world of business. He started out as an engineer and then from there he diverged into HR, from where he got a lot of invaluable experience. He learned about organizations, about people, and how to handle people. That set his foundation in his remarkable career. Akbar is not just any entrepreneur. He's a visionary who has ventured into different businesses and made several ideas into thriving businesses. And now Mr. Akbar will be joining us. So, I wanted to ask you a few questions. How did you start up in a business? Like you said, you did your engineering, right? So, how did you get into business?
See, for me, business did not come naturally, to be very honest. I'm not from a business kind of background, came from a, I come from a family full of doctors. I was the odd one out. The reason I was the odd one out was because I was not academically so strong, but somehow, even during my corporate career, I had this, kind of buzz in me that, I have to do something of my own. So that is when, after completing 10 years into corporate, I realized that three things I realized. Number one, to start something, you need an idea. That is number one. Number two, you need terrific co founders or a founding team. And number three, you need to have that zeal. What I had in me, I had no idea. I had no co founders or the founding team. I just had the zeal. And the fourth one, the reason I entered into the venturing business is because since I had no idea, I knew for a fact that, I cannot build one product and be dependent on it. Because uncertainty of that particular startup to fail was almost 100%.
So, that's why you diversified into different things.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I diversified my portfolio by entering into multiple businesses because I knew that if one of my businesses fail, my income will keep generating from the next businesses. And it kept the hunger what I had to enter into industries, different industries. That is the main reason why I started this business.
Okay. So, like you said, you were weak in your studies. Is that like any connection to why you're with I2 Global?
How I2 Global came into the picture is a very exciting story. It accidentally happened. I was in Kormangla one day when I got to know my marketing team called me and told me that, sir, do you want to enter into the franchisee business? I said, yeah, why not? And which one is it? They said, there's a company called I2 Global. I asked, which is the location? They said, Kormangla. I said, I'm in Kormangla right now. Why don't you connect me with some of the authorities of I2 Global? I spoke to, a wonderful person from I2 Global, and I was convinced within 15 minutes to go to their office, meet them. And honestly, I had no idea about edtech. I just knew a couple of companies who have turned on to be unicorns and a couple of them who has gone under the ground, making losses. And it was in a 30-minute conversation, I realized that, okay, let me take a chance. And here we are 12 months down the ground. I2 is running successfully for us and I'm very happy with it.
So yeah, like you said, you had no idea about edtech at all. So you probably faced a lot of challenges in the beginning, or did you not? If you did, like just let us know what were the challenges.
With I2 specifically, I am in a very, very different model. That model, if, people who's watching this video, if they do not know, it's called as the FICO model. That is FICO, which is called franchisee invested and company operated. I was very clear. See, you do not burn your hands into an industry where you don't have any knowledge. I did not have any knowledge, but I had a courage to take a risk on it. So in this model, what basically happens is a franchisee owner invests money and the company operates it. But I am into a very different model where I told I2 that I'm not only going to be a silent investor, I'm going to help you with the marketing and generation of the leads. That's how the successful collaboration of me and I2 is going on.
So basically, I2 Global is handling the operational part of the franchise. You
Yeah.
just invested and helping out a little bit with the marketing and everything. So were there any challenges you faced while you're working with I2 Global and with the team
It would
particularly?
sound very unreal if I say there were no challenges. The on-ground team what I2 has is very professional. They know the business, right? There are few people who claim to know the business. These people don't claim that they know the business.
They do know
They
it.
do know it.
Okay.
And when you work with such set of talented and experienced people, honestly, you don't face any challenges to come in. See, every business has challenges. I wouldn't deny that fact. But these people know. In fact, I wouldn't say these people. We knew how to overcome them, right? And we are doing good. Touch wood.
I wanted to ask you, usually people want to start their own businesses. Everyone has that dream. They want to do something of their own. They want to be their own boss. But usually the uncertainty and fear holds them back. So what made you overcome that? There must have been something, right?
Well, see, uncertainties are there. It is inevitable. It's like virus, right? It is everywhere. The temporary solution for it is you take a vaccination and that virus goes away. But uncertainty will be there in any business you enter, whatever you do, and wherever you do. For me, what I can advise people who are planning to enter into startup is treat those uncertainty or doubts like your spam mails which you get in your mailbox. You either ignore them completely or else select all and hit on the delete button.
If you were to give advice to someone to start, you know, s- give a starting point to someone, give a, pointer to someone, okay, this is the starting point and this is how you would want to start. Like, let's say one thing you would tell anyone who's starting in business, any entrepreneur.
My only advice is, if I have to keep this answer
Yes, advice.
short and crisp, is in order to become an entrepreneur, it's important for you to first become an intrapreneur. Now, what do I mean by that is join a company,
Okay.
learn about something, gain experience, build your network, join a department. Once you have that solid hold of what you have gained your experience into, then jump into an idea of building something. Without experience, I would not recommend anyone to just for the name's sake that, okay, I want to do a startup. I wouldn't advise anyone to do it.
That wouldn't work out usually.
Yeah, because you need experience in whatever you do.
You did your engineering. What was your entrepreneurship in that? Like, where did you get your experience from?
I learned nothing in engineering. I'm being very blunt.
Okay.
I belong to that 60 to 70% of the Indian population who first joins engineering, completes 2 years, struggles, and then think what they want to do in their life. So I was one amongst them.
Okay.
So I am not degrading anyone from my engineering. Yes, I've learned a lot, in terms of how to lead a better life in engineering. But academically, I was not so strong, to be very honest. So yeah, that's my answer.
So no, but like, where did you get your experience from? Then you said entrepreneurship is important,
okay.
right?
Okay. So see, prior to starting my own thing, 10 years I worked in corporates.
Okay.
Right. I worked in a very exciting department called HR.
HR. Okay.
HRs are
Yes.
considered like police. आप उनके साथ दोस्ती भी नहीं कर सकते हो, दुश्मनी भी नहीं कर सकते हो.
Has.
Right. So 10 years I worked into HR, and that is when I built my network.
Okay.
Right. Because I always believe in the fact that your original net worth is your network. So
Yeah,
that is
networking
where,
is very important.
So if you ask me how did I start my own company, it was all through the networks what I have.
Venture capitalism. How like you got into it?
See, it's easy to reach at the top, very difficult to maintain being at the top.
That's true.
That's the biggest challenge. I collaborate with a lot of founders and all, help them, advise them. I also take their advice. It's not that, just because I'm an investor on the table, they don't just have to listen to me. I learn from them. Right?
Okay.
The biggest challenge is it's easier to go at the top, very difficult to maintain being at the top.
So, how do you handle mental stress and procrastination? What are some of the strategies that work for you?
See, I'm from a very old kind of generation.
Okay.
When you say procrastination, I just Google it 3-4 days back. Is that looking at the Instagram reels or Facebook reels? Is that called procrastination?
No, procrastination is basically you think like, okay, I'm going to do something, but you don't end up doing it. Just sit on that, thought for a while.
No, to be very honest, no.
Oh, okay.
I
So
have a
you're constantly active.
yeah, I'm constantly active. I have a great founding team. They come up with plans. They speak to me on a continuous basis and everything. So honestly, as I told you, I didn't even know the meaning of procrastination. I just asked you, so you can imagine from my answer that I do not know it and I don't do it.
That's amazing. You're a very like it's a very good thing to have. Usually people don't have that. Okay, so moving forward, let's talk about what is your next step? Like, what are you planning to get into next, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, see, I have entered into multiple industries, be it EV, right, which is one of the booming industries right
Yes.
now, with eye to edtech, obviously. I am working into food tech business right now. That is an ever churning and all.
Food tech in the sense, if you don't mind me asking, like what exactly is
Cloud
it about?
kitchen,
Oh,
be it a
cloud
cloud
kitchen. Okay,
kitchen,
okay.
like how cafes have come, right?
QSRs.
QSRs and all. So I've entered into that industry. Now, one of the most exciting industries which I am planning to enter, I have started my work also, is the real estate. Right? Real estate is an industry where you can earn or else you can burn.
Crash, complete crash.
Complete crash. There is no middling into it. So I'm doing my research. I'm meeting a lot of people from the real estate industry. I have quite a few good networks. One of my very very close senior from the college, he has went on to become hugely successful. So he's like a mentor. I'm learning from him. you know I've structured my calendar in such a way that next 6 months I'm only going to learn. Because as I mentioned you in my
That's
previous
good.
answers, that it's important to gain experience and then enter into something. So real estate industry is one of the industries which I'm planning to enter right now.
That's perfect. So, yeah, I wanted to ask out when you were starting out, were there any mistakes that you made?
Everyone makes mistakes.
Yes, any particular mistakes that you kind of regret?
I do. I was too much into analyzing things.
Okay.
Then whenever I make mistakes, as I told you, I have a great founding team and mentors across me.
Mm-hmm.
They advise me one thing: too much of analysis leads you to paralysis. So if you don't want to be paralyzed, stop analysis.
Just get into it.
Just get into it. It's okay sometimes to make mistakes. I'll tell you one statement, during my corporate years, the great gentleman, Sir Ratan Tata,
Uh-huh.
had told that I don't make right decisions. I make decisions and then I make them right. That instantly hit my character because I was the same kind of personality, be it in my high school, my college, my masters, where a lot of people used to give me a feedback saying, "Ki, Akbar, you think you first make decisions and then you think whether it is right or wrong." When I heard about this statement, it actually changed my life. Because I'll give you one more thing. Because when you make a decision, even if it turns out to be wrong, the journey from the journey where you're actually moving into to make that decision right, you learn a lot, which no institute, which no mentor or no coach can teach you. So mistakes happens.
Okay. So, as we were talking about I2 Global and education, the edtech sector, I wanted to find out like what do you think the future of edtech is?
See, on a lighter note, edtech is like that party where you do not have to know the dance moves. You just have to wait for the right time for the DJ to play your favorite song so that your body automatically can start dancing.
So it's just going with the flow right
It's
now.
going with the flow.
That's a broad, point of view just for edtech. Now, where do you see yourself with I2 Global in the future?
See, I do see a future with I2.
Yes.
And I'm very confident that with the kind of team they have who are working on the ground, and they will continue the same rhythm and fashion. And if you ask me, I at least see a future with them for the next 3 years.
Okay. Do you plan on getting into the operational part of it at all?
Well, not really. I'm a bad sales guy. I'm very good at negotiation. Someone, generates the lead, nurtures them, brings it to me for closure. I can do the closure part.
Okay.
But if you ask me to go on the ground, speak to someone, because I think I've not learned that emotional aspect of a customer, right? I've not learned that that sensitivity of how do you speak to a customer and everyone, but I know the sensitivity of financial negotiation. So tomorrow, if you're my customer, my one of my team member will get in touch with you, call you, speak to you, follow up with you. But when it comes to the closure, I can assure you I can close you.
Okay, so you'll get a good deal out of anyone basically.
I think I'm good at it.
So yeah, you've done a lot of things in your life, as we can see. You've ventured, like, you've gone into a lot of different businesses. So do you feel like that has impacted your surrounding, the environment around you, the people around you? And do you think like all that hard work, like, is there any moment that makes you proud about it?
I wouldn't use the terminology of whether I'm proud of it or not. I can say I'm content and I'm happy.
You're content and happy.
The day I reach that level where I start feeling that pride in myself, I fail as an entrepreneur.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so no ego, nothing.
No,
I mean, it's not egotistical. It's just like, I just wanted to find out. Maybe, there might be some moment you're like, okay, I did something really good here.
No, I don't think, because as I told you, if I say that this is something which I've done good, it means that it's the end of the journey.
Oh, okay, so that's your benchmark. Okay, you don't want to put a cap yourself at that
No,
point.
absolutely not, because I'm still learning. I wouldn't say that I'm starting. I've
Yeah.
already started, but I'm learning right now.
Yeah, like you said, real estate and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just becoming better every day.
Kind of, I would say, becoming better as a human, because if I'm a better human, that's going to complement the people around me.
So during your college days, was there anyone who inspired you particularly that made you go into, businesses from, corporate to business?
I had no clue what I'm going to do with my life till the third year of engineering. So no one inspired me.
No one in your college
Not
times.
really. Not really.
And what about your, corporate time?
Corporate time, yeah, I was very lucky where, these days toxic work culture is the new hashtag in social media, right? I think I was very lucky that, my managers were great.
Yes.
Today, if I am a great manager, I would compliment my previous managers, who I reported into, because they understood that, I'm an animal like character. I have aggression in me and I can't sell, but, I have the empathy factor with me,
Okay.
right? So I
Understanding.
can't take one person's name during my corporate journey, because I have reported into multiple managers, and I've learned a lot from them, and I'm still learning from all the people I meet. I learn from a kid every day.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
people say that you have to know how to say no, right? I learned how to say no from my son.
Okay.
If he doesn't like anything, he'll say directly no, and I've learned from that.
That's amazing.
So simple. So every day, I get inspired from
Yeah,
people.
usually it's very hard to say no for a lot of people. They just, yeah, okay, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now let's just do some rapid fire questions. Like, I just want to ask you one word answer questions.
Is that only one word?
Like, just rapid fire. Just give me like quick answers. It's just going to be fun. So, what is the best advice that you've stumbled upon?
Too much analysis leads to paralysis.
Paralysis, okay. Your favorite tool to stay organized?
Excel?
Excel, okay. A book you would recommend?
Wings of Fire by
Wings of
APJ Abdul Kalam.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
Wings of Fire. But I have to read it too then, I guess. How do you relax after a long day?
I sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, rest. Amazing.
That's the best way to relax.
Okay. If you weren't into edtech and entrepreneurship and business, what would you be doing? What would you be into?
I think a chef.
Okay, so
I cook well.
your wife must love you then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
That's the only thing she likes in me.
Is that so?
Yeah.
No, that's not true. So you look good. It's fine.
I wanted to hear that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yes, please give me some tips. I want to know how to look good as well.
But I think my parents.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Genetics. Okay.
Yeah, genetics.
Okay. So thank you for coming here, sir, and giving us your special advice and taking a little bit time out of your busy schedule. Really appreciate you coming down here, and thank you for being here once again.
Thanks for having me, everyone here. It was lovely speaking to you. I hope, this podcast, whoever sees, if any one person gets inspired, I'm out there on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, to be very honest. Feel free to DM me, for any kind of advice. I'm more than happy to respond back to you guys.
To our listeners, if you have been inspired by Akbar's journey, take that first step towards your dream. Until then, keep dreaming, keep building, and keep inspiring. Stay tuned for our next episode.